let's go over to Sydney and speak to Dr. Eyal Mayroz from the Department of Peace and Conflict Studies at the University of Sydney. Interesting just seeing the numbers of people in your country gathering there. How is it being portrayed in terms of the latest conflict?
Well, I think you have to make a separation between governments and the people. Governments, the Australian government as well as the Americans, are always trying to play both sides and pretend that they're doing more than they actually are doing. I think in terms of Israel, the Americans can but refuse so far to play a strong card. But certainly public opinion in countries like Australia and the US should and need to play a stronger role in trying to force the government's hand to act more forcefully.
But at the moment, the Australian government is saying that this is being done in self-defence and every country, Israel, has the right to defend itself.
And it is true, but there's two sides to the story. So Israel's right for self-defense is there, and most governments and countries would acknowledge that. But with the amount of mounting casualties, and a lot of them, as you said, women and children, we need to stop. The Hamas allegedly, and I think that's true, has already achieved its purposes, and it's now waiting for Israel to agree to a ceasefire. So the ball is pretty much in the hand of Israel now.
Well, the last major conflict, the 50-day war back in 2014, thousands of people killed, 2,500, I think, Palestinians, dozens of Israelis. That ended in a truce. How much more alarming is it now, though, that these sectarian problems in mixed towns and mixed cities where Israeli Arabs and Israeli Jews are fighting each other?
Well, I'm extremely pessimistic because I think both the two-state solution and the one-state solution have suffered a major blow. The two-state solution, because from now on, how will Israelis agree to have a Palestinian state not down in Gaza, but next to them 5 or 10 kilometers away from Tel Aviv with such capability as the Hamas has shown to have? And the one-state solution has suffered a major blow because of what we're seeing, the intercommunal violence within Israel, and the prospects for, a one country with two people is diminishing by the minute.
Critics of Bibi Netanyahu would say that he's been warned about this, about dispossessed Arab communities falling into criminality and indeed able to locate guns as well.
Bibi has been the last however many months has been thinking about one thing, which is Bibi, and therefore is not really has not taken any initiative early on when the escalation started, and the same with the major problems that Israeli Palestinians have been suffering in terms of violence, and therefore did very little to help with that. The situation may help Bibi in terms of the difficulties for a new alternative government to be formed. So we're not sure where is he going with all his what I would say disingenuous efforts at peace.
Dr. Mayroz.